Hey, welcome back to another Netcast. I'm Rich Lopez, Quantrix Authority. Fantastic that you joined me today for episode number 131, Merge Items from Multiple Categories. What I mean by this is I have a model here that has Department B with some names, and it has an amount. It has Department A with some names and an amount, and Department C, and so on. What I want to do is I want to create a list that has all of these names in it. Okay? And I want that to be automagic. So I want to create a category that's got all these names. How can I do that? Well, one way that I'm going to do it is I would simply go over here and I'd create a new matrix. And I'm going to call this just ID1. Okay? And I'm going to put in a boatload of IDs. This is kind of a manual way to do it. Maybe this is a little hokey, but this is how I'm going to do it. I'd add all these IDs in here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another category. And I'm going to call this, I guess, maybe matrix or department maybe. And I will go A, B, and C, okay, kind of to match this. And then what I want to do is I want to just say this is D1. I'm going to call this row, I guess, or row ID. And I'm going to say row ID is equal to pound department. Okay, and when I do that, maybe it's not pound department, maybe it's pound F actually, so, or the pound ID here. So what it does is it makes all these guys 1, gives all these guys 2. And then what I want to do is I want to go out here and I want to say name, and I'm going to say bring me the value at, I think it's value at like that. What is the list? Well, let's start with A. What is the index? What is the number I want to return? I want to return the row ID, and I want that to be of A, I think. And when I do that, I don't want to bring in the amount. I actually want to bring in the at name B. So let me go, or at name A rather. So if I put in at right here, I can go ahead and I can see that I get Mike, James, Carl, Earl. Okay, but I'm getting that for all of these A, B, and C, so I want to specify this as name A, and then I'll just get Mike, James, Carl like this. So now if I went to B, I would go ahead and essentially copy that, paste it here. Let me copy it, paste it here, and I would change this letter to B, and then I would change this to B, B, and then I change this to B, and then I would expect to see that I'm going to get Laura, Susan, Chris, Maria, and Rich. Okay, and then what I could do is I could go out and I could create a name use column where I would scrub out maybe the sum of B and the sum of D if I didn't want them to show up in my list. But then what I want to do, if I want to get this into a category, is I would go ahead here and I'd go data link. I'd create a data link. My two-dimensional matrix, I would click next here. You can see that. I would go ahead and click next again. Matrix 1 is it. D is my category. Click next. Next, multi-dimensional. Next, I'd clear all. And I would make name be my category. So I do that, I could sort it ascending, wouldn't really matter. And then what happens is I go ahead and I click finish. And what I do, what I have here now, is I have a list of all those names. And I could make it so that I could eliminate the I blank or whatever. But that's one way to approach it. How to get 3 different categories kind of combined into one category and get a list. If you have any questions about Quantrix, if there's even a better way that you know of doing what I just demonstrated, if you would reach out to me and let me know at quantrixauthority@gmail.com, I would absolutely appreciate it. I'm always looking for better ways to do things in Quantrix. I hope you are too. Therefore, I hope that you will join me for another episode of Quantrix Authority with Rich Lopez.